No sunlight reaches what waits below. Beneath ancient waves, the planet kept its strangest secrets. Down there, mountains smoked and darkness fed entire kingdoms. Shells drifted like moons through water black as space. Glass sponges rose from mud like frozen lightning, and almost none of it should have survived. The seafloor erased itself again and again. Yet clues climbed into mountains and waited for us. Fondled them, and lost oceans began breathing again. This descent starts where daylight finally dies. The deep ocean rarely keeps simple records. Its floor is constantly recycled. Very little seafloor is older than 150 million years. Earth keeps swallowing the evidence. So paleontologists hunt ancient depths on land. Uplifted rocks become stolen seafloors. Black shales, limestones, and vent minerals whisper first. They are fragments, never complete worlds. That is the first surprise here. The deep hid life, then hid itself. Even so, patterns emerged through deep time. Different oceans left the same signatures. Low oxygen preserves delicate bodies unusually well. Quiet mud can become a vault. Currents carry food downward as marine snow. Darkness still depends on sunlight above. Pressure climbed with every descending body length. Bones, shells, and nerves all felt it. Some habitats also ignore the sun entirely. Vents and seeps run on chemistry. Sound traveled farther than sight ever could. Vibration became its own kind of map. That alternative world is unimaginably ancient. It may approach life's beginning. In Cambrian seas, deeper slopes already hosted experiments. Sponges anchored where light faded. Soft-bodied animals sometimes tumbled into oxygen-poor basins. There, decay slowed and details remained. Their fossils look almost extraterrestrial today. Their world was simply older. Feathery gills, grasping limbs, and compound eyes appear. Evolution was testing everything at once. Not all of them hunted near shore. Some likely patrolled dimmer water offshore. Above them drifted early plankton clouds. Below them stretched soft mud and silence. The seafloor itself was already busy. Worms burrowed, grazers crawled, scavengers followed scents. Trilobites sometimes reach deeper settings too. Their tracks cross sediments like stitched thread. Ancient predators did not need roaring jaws. Speed and strange limbs were enough. Many bottom dwellers lived by touch first. Eyes mattered less where mud swallowed light. Yet the deepest habitats remained mostly hidden. Oceanic crust would later erase them. So our first chapter is half silhouette. We see outlines, not the whole cast. By the Ordovician, cephalopods became commanding hunters. Some carried long, straight shells. They rose to open water like living spears, smaller animals scattered beneath them. Far below, brittle stars and sponges endured. The bottom community thickened slowly. Graptolites drifted in the water column overhead. Their remains now map vanished seas. Around 440 million years ago, vent animals appear. Ancient chimneys sheltered specialized communities. That matters more than it first seems. Deep chemosynthetic worlds are genuinely old. Life there did not follow daylight. Bacteria turned chemicals into food. Mineral chimneys grew as fluids cooled suddenly. The seafloor built towers in darkness. Two worms came later in many lineages, but the strategy was already established. Even then, the deep had oases. Darkness was patchy, not empty. Even dead vent structures remained useful habitat. Hard surfaces are precious in soft mud. An empty space is never really empty. Sinking matter linked surface and abyss. The Devonian brought new fish into dim water. Some lineages would prove astonishingly durable. Coelacanth ancestors appear by this time. Their story will not end here. Elsewhere, reefs expanded and collapsed repeatedly. Their debris fed basins beyond the light. In deeper settings, delicate animals sometimes fossilized whole. Even soft tissues could survive. Those rare windows feel almost impossible. Starfish, crinoids, and arthropods keep their forms. Imagine the water above them, cold, green, and falling away forever. Glass sponges also become important in this story. Their silica skeletons suit deeper muds, some anchored by rope-like holdfasts or mats. Soft sediment could still support cathedrals. Modern glass sponges mostly favor deep habitats. Their fossil record reaches back to Cambrian seas. Some later formed vast reefs of their own. Whole seafloors became silent architecture. Reef is the right word here. Sponges sometimes engineered landscapes on immense scales. The deep was not just a graveyard. It was a builder. Then the Permian world began to fail. Oceans warmed, circulation changed, oxygen fell. When deep waters lose oxygen, communities collapse. The abyss becomes harder to inhabit. The in-Permian extinction struck surface and depth alike. Recovery took immense spans of time. Some seafloors may have turned nearly lifeless. Black mud recorded the crisis. But survival never vanished completely. Small holdouts endured in scattered refuges. That resilience is another deep ocean lesson. Catastrophe rarely erases every thread. The crisis also changed ocean chemistry profoundly. Poisonous conditions likely spread through some basins. Triassic seas slowly repopulated the darkness. New food webs stitched themselves together. Ammonoids returned with astonishing speed. Their coiled shells multiplied across recovering oceans. Recovery was uneven from place to place. Some deep habitats lagged far behind. On the bottom, echinoderms and sponges persisted. Above, reptiles began rewriting marine life. The deep had survived another ending. It was ready for stranger hunters. Ichthyosaurs entered this world like torpedoes. Some evolved eyes of extraordinary size. Scientists link those eyes to low-light vision, perhaps also sharp detail at depth. Picture them slipping beneath brighter water. Silver bodies vanish into cobalt shadow. They were not deep-sea residents in every case, but some clearly used dim zones. Other reptiles crossed these seas above them. Long-necked hunters and shelled survivors shared the water. Squid-like prey flashed and twisted below them. The chase belonged to silence, not spectacle. But deep scenes remained dominated by invertebrates. Soft arms, spines, stalks, and drifting mouths. If you stood there, you would hear little, only pressure, distance, and drifting particles. Would you last 1 minute here? Tell me below. Or would the darkness break you first? Tell me honestly. And what creature would you fear most? I want your answer. Now keep descending, because the seafloor changes again. A new empire is waiting. By the Cretaceous, glass sponges reached major diversity. Some built reefs once thought forever extinct. These reefs rose like pale fortresses. Countless smaller animals hid among them. Sea urchins crossed the sediment slowly. Brittle stars lifted arms in the passing currents. Every surface could become living space. The deep rewards anything that catches food. Far above, plankton still fed everything below. The abyss always borrowed energy from light. That link made deep worlds vulnerable, changed the surface and darkness stars. Then came the asteroid at the Cretaceous' end. Food webs buckled from top to bottom. Some deep communities may have been buffered briefly, others depended too strongly on falling meals. Either way, recovery reshaped the ocean again. Nothing ancient returns exactly unchanged. The deep remembers extinction differently than land, quieter, slower, but never untouched. In the Cenozoic, mammals eventually ruled surface seas, but shadows still belong to older lineages. Coelacanth relatives had vanished from most expectations, yet their lineage endured. Living coelacanths were found only recently by science. They shelter in twilight caves by day. That discovery changed more than headlines. It warned us how incomplete absence can be. A fish known from Devonian rock still swam. Ancient design had not fully disappeared. Its lobed fins move with eerie coordination. Its snout senses electrical signals in darkness. So when we picture ancient deep waters, remember this. Some lineages truly carried the past forward. Not unchanged, of course, but surviving. Evolution preserves, trims, and repurposes. The deep ocean excels at such persistence. Stable darkness can shelter old strategies. That is why rediscoveries feel almost mythical. They are real and rare. Meanwhile, new giant bodies began reaching the bottom. Whales transformed deep ecosystems after death. A whale fall is sudden abundance. One carcass can feed communities for years. First come scavengers, then enrichment specialists. Later, bone-eating organisms may take over. These are modern scenes, but revealing ones. Large carcasses likely nourished ancient depths too. Chemosynthetic communities also persisted at vents and seeps. Some may echo very ancient ecologies. Black smokers build towers from dissolved minerals. White smokers vent cooler, paler fluids. Around them, bacteria write the menu first. Animals gather where chemistry becomes food. Sunlight is irrelevant in those places. Earth itself powers the feast. Cold seeps offered similar bargains elsewhere. Methane and sulfide could support dense life. That makes the deep feel almost alien, yet it may be life's oldest habit. Such communities remind us of a rule. Energy can enter ecosystems from more than sunlight. No wonder these habitats fascinate scientists. They resemble beginnings and endings at once. Not every ancient deep creature stayed deep. Many worlds were connected by migration. Today, billions of animals rise nightly to feed. By dawn, they sink again. Scientists call this dial vertical migration. It may have ancient roots. Predators use the rhythm. So does carbon, carried downward in bodies and waste. Imagine prehistoric nights above the abyss. Invisible traffic thickens every layer. Jellies pulse upward, shrimp-like swarms glitter, then disappear before sunrise. Some fish wait at the edge below. Timing matters more than speed. In such darkness, small mistakes become fatal. A missed silhouette means no meal. This is another hidden engine of oceans. Motion itself moves nutrients and carbon. Even fecal pellets become falling fuel here. In the deep, nothing is trivial. Ancient deep seas were not still. They breathed on vertical schedules. Yet huge pieces of the story remain missing. The abyss destroys evidence almost as fast. Whole communities may have left no fossils. Others survive only as scattered spines. That uncertainty should deepen wonder, not weaken it. Reality is already astonishing. We know enough to reject the old cliché. The deep was never barren. It held predators, reefs, scavengers, oases, and migrants. It held repeated recoveries after disaster. It also held long patience. Evolution can wait in darkness. When continents shifted, basins opened and closed. Deep habitats changed with them. When climate lurched, oxygen levels followed. Entire communities rose or fell. And when extinction struck, the deep responded differently. Slower in rhythm, longer in memory. That difference matters when we study Earth. The abyss records resilience as much as ruin. Look at our timeline and something humbling appears. Most of this drama happened without us. For nearly all Earth history, humans were absent. The deep kept speaking anyway. Its kingdoms rose, vanished, and returned in silence. We arrived only at the final seconds. Even now, much of the ocean remains unexplored. The ancient deep still withholds names. If you could descend into one lost ocean, which would it be? Tell me below. And if this darkness fascinated you, stay with us. Subscribe and ring the bell. There are older worlds beneath every map. We have barely begun opening them. The land remembers in bones and footprints. The ocean remembers in whispers. Far below the waves, time never truly left. It only sank out of sight. In that ancient dark, the planet learned endurance. Before us, it practiced forever.